What's going on? It's your boy Sheiv the Wise, and welcome back to Vader's Lair. I hope you guys are having a fantastic Valentine's Day and happy Bad Batch Tuesday to all of you as well. Welcome into the chat. It is good to see all of my good friends here. Much love, all of you guys. Aaron Tomato, the GOAT, Timothy, what up, my dude? Sabersmith, good to see you as well. Kylie, Rail Averos, dude, I missed you too, man. It is good to see you in the chat, my brother. Let's get this thing going because we have a lot to talk about in our preview for episode 9, the kickoff to the second half of season 2 of the Bad Batch, and we're going to be getting into why Grogu had to return to Din Djarin as fast as he did in the Book of Boba Fett. Let's get it going. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and let's do it. Welcome back to Vader's Lair, one and all. If you're new to the channel, a big welcome to you. Make sure to smash that subscribe button and smash the like button too. Welcome into the channel though. Let's get it going with an episode 9 preview of the Bad Batch titled Crossing. Yes, tonight's episode is titled Crossing, and I honestly have no idea what we're in for, man. There's been a lot of tweets going around today from two of our favorites that work on the show. That would be the Kiner brothers, who of course, along with their father, Kevin Kiner, do the music for the Bad Batch and all the animated Star Wars series. And the showrunner herself, executive producer, Jennifer Corbett, was also teasing out some stuff on Twitter. And I don't know what to think. I really don't know what to think. The Kiners were, the way they were tweeting today, had my heart bumping, and I was a little worried because I don't know what's happening tonight. It's the second half of the season, and they're scaring me. They're scaring me. Now, Jen, of course, being the awesome person she is, she was trying to sweeten it up and make it, say that it's going to be kind of like a hook. I'll show you guys the tweets here in a little bit, but I don't know what to think. Do you guys think tonight's episode is going to be like one that we have to worry about, or is it one that we should be excited for? Because I'm worried. I'm really, really worried. So let me pull up these tweets here in a second, but how are we feeling about episode 9? And let me get into the chat and see how y'all doing. Rail says, feels great to finally have some time off and join you all again. Dude, it's awesome to see you back in the chat, Rail. It has been quite some time indeed, and it's all good. Life gets busy sometimes, and it's all good, man. You don't gotta worry about it. I'm happy to see you in the chat. It's always awesome to have you here, as well as our good friend Timothy. It is good to see you as well. Dale says dangerous music, but a sweet hook. Yeah, dangerous indeed. Sabersmith, good to see you too. Rant, yes, there will be a rant tonight. If you guys tuned in yesterday, I did have a little bit of a rant on Pedro Pascal and our favorite stunt doubles of the Mandalorian, Lateef and our boy Brendan Wayne. Lateef Crowder, he's awesome, man. They're both awesome. All of them are the Mando. But yes, we're going on a rant tonight too, which we'll get into here in a little bit. But the first thing we have to talk about is the Bad Batch. And like I said, I'm really worried for tonight. I gotta pull up these tweets because it is scary. It's scary season out here. Kiner brothers, sorry. So again, if you guys don't know who the Kiner brothers are, Kiner brothers music are the people that work on the Bad Batch music along with their father. And of course, they gave us quite the Valentine's Day gift with these tweets. So let me pull them up. Sorry about that. Let me pull them up so we can talk. There's going to be a lot of pulling up things today, so bear with me, chat. I appreciate you guys for being here. Let us see what we can do. Oh, not John. Yes, Kiner brothers. Here we go. Oh no, we have to enlarge it. Make it bigger. Alright, give me 1 second, chat. I apologize for this. So, the Kiner brothers' first thing says, a storm is coming. Storm's coming. Here's the tweet. Storm's coming from the Kiner brothers. I don't know what kind of storm is brewing tonight, but it has me worried. Again, tonight's episode is titled Crossing. there's a few things that I'll get into here in a bit of what I think it could actually be about. And I did speculate with the Star Wars obsession earlier too, but I'm worried. So after they said this, storm's coming, the next tweet that they had, these Don Kiner brothers, was this one. And this one has me really worried. Because you guys probably can't see that too well. I'll try. Basically, it's Simba with some TNT attached to him, about to get stampeded. And it says redacted, like they did last season. The Kiner brothers literally did this last season to us. Just with the girl that's like smiling with the fire behind her. You know, they like to play with our minds. But underneath the redacted, though, it looks like there's an R at the end of it. That's what I made out. There's an R at the end of it. Well, there's two members of the Bad Batch in particular whose names end with the R. Hunter and Wrecker. Rail Avros, thank you for the $6.99, man. I appreciate the super chat. And he says, this is now my peaceful place, and I thank you all. I thank you and all the listeners for providing a spot to feel happy about life. Hey, dude. Welcome to the club. It's where I feel safe. It's a good place to be freaking hyped as a Star Wars fan. Get your piece going. And it's a great happy place, man. Because that's what this is, man. Vader's Lair is like the positive side of Star Wars. That's what we like to be here. I know there's a lot of other positive creators out there, but your boy Sheiv is just overflowing with positive energy. It's enlarging. Yes, I do need to enlarge in it. I'm afraid of it disappearing here. So let me get this as big as I can. Maybe I can pull up the picture. Actually, that would help. That would help. There. That's a good look at it. You get to see Simba there with the redacted. It looks like there's an R. Tell me if I'm tripping. It looks like an R. So shout out to Kylie for showing this to me on Twitter. I'm worried. If they do something to Hunter, or Wrecker in particular, Wrecker even more, don't do this to Wrecker. I can't take it. No one can take it. Especially after we lost Echo last week. I saw some fan was speculating on Twitter that as we go along season 2, we're going to lose each member of the batch as it goes further and further to where it's just Hunter and Omega. And maybe they won't die in particular, but they might find their true purposes, hopefully. Please don't kill Wrecker. My heart can't take it. My heart can't take it. So along with the Kiner brothers, here we'll get back into the lair real quick. Like I said, Jen Corbett was also kind of tweeting, and she is the executive producer of the Bad Batch. And hers was a little bit more optimistic, if you will. You know, Jen's always, she's a gem. Jen is a gem. And this tweet definitely was a little bit more positive than the one that the Kiners put out. So let me pull this up for you guys so you can get a good look at it too. It's I'm still worried, man. Even if Jen's is the one that we can look forward to, I am worried. I'm really worried. All right, here's Jen Corbett's. Oh, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? No. Why didn't it work? Work done, you. There we go. Jen Corbett says, if you're still recovering from the last 2 episodes of The Bad Batch, this week's journey may be just what you need. I hope so. I hope it's more of a hug than a stampede with dynamite. Like, what am I supposed to think? Made with me, Maddie, right? What am I supposed to think, though? Let me know in the chat. Are you guys feeling more like this episode's going to be a hug or a stampede with dynamite? That's our only 2 options, you know? Maybe it's going to be a hug that ends up leading to a stampede with dynamite. I'm still smiling. Just a side note, got to meet Mando himself recently on set. Pure chance, but what a nice person. I just started laughing when I saw him, and then he started laughing, and we just shook hands. Dude, that's so cool. And I'm still smiling. That's awesome, bro. If you're talking about Pedro Pascal, that's the freaking coolest story I've ever heard, man. That's awesome. All right, let's head back into the lair, though. let's talk about episode 9 a little bit and what I think the crossing could potentially be. So, again, episode 9 is titled Crossing. And there is a lot of ideas flown around in this head of mine of what that could potentially be. Are we going to be seeing Crosshair? Because Crosshair, it's not that different. I don't really think so. I don't know. Everybody's trying to say that we're only going to see Crosshair a couple times this season. Train, shut your mouth. But I hope we see Crosshair a little bit more than just a few times. It's cool to see Crosshair's story develop. So Crossing, that would be cool. You know, that would be cool if it's that. Now, if we really want to go full speculation on it, next week's episode is called Retrieval. So, you know, getting a little wild here. What if Cody is crossing his way out of the Empire? Which I know that's a stretch. But what if Cody's crossing his way out of the Empire this episode? We get to follow Cody a little bit. And next week we get to see a retrieval of Cody by Rex and Echo. I think that would be so cool. Although, you know, maybe that could even work with the tweets. You know, crossing, you know, being about Cody. That's a big hug for us Star Wars fans. You know, that's, yeah, I'm with it. But I mean, Cody trying to escape the Empire, that would sure as hell be a storm. And I could definitely see how that could turn into some dynamite stampedes. You know what I mean? So hopefully it's something like that where it's still really cool for us to see. It's a big hug for us Star Wars fans, but you know, stuff's about to go down. And my last thing that I think is most likely the case for what tonight's episode is going to be, it's something that's been in our speculation for quite a bit now. It could be that Sid finally crosses the line. Which, again, maybe that's a stretch, but crossing the Bad Batch, crossing the line, I think at some point, Sid is going to lose the trust of the Bad Batch, or, you know, she's going to stab him in the back. Sid is definitely a little bit of a shady character. She's been pretty cool at times throughout Season 1 and Season 2, but it was even teased to us all throughout Season 1, and very early on here in Season 2, that at some point, Sid is likely going to stab him in the back. She's gonna cross him. So I honestly think tonight's episode, kicking off the second half of season 2, might be Sid sending the Bad Batch on a mission. She doesn't maybe give him full details, or, you know, now that Echo's outside of the group, she might, you know, I just think she's gonna cross the line. She's not gonna do what's in the best interest of the Bad Batch, and I think we're gonna lose. We're gonna lose the Bad Batch's connection to Sid, which honestly, that could really propel the second half of this season. A lot of people have been complaining, oh, it feels so filler at times. But I think part of it is the fact that the Bad Batch is made for everybody. You're going to have some fun episodes that are, you know, maybe centered or geared towards kids and are still really fun for us adult Star Wars fans. And that's awesome, man. That's really what the animated side of Star Wars should be at times. There should be, I mean, that's how Rebels was. That's how Clone Wars is. There's some crazy episodes. So maybe even tonight's episode is just going to be another adventure of the week. But I do think it's going to be that adventure of the week that maybe ends the adventures of the week. Like, I think once the Bad Batch are kind of done with Sid, there's a lot of story to propel from there. And I think if that's kind of what tonight's episode is about, the Bad Batch breaking away from Sid, her crossing the line, we're going to have a freaking hell of a back half of the season. And I mean, we know that we're eventually getting to Mount Tantus here. It's around the corner. You know, it's not too far. So it's exciting stuff, man. What are you guys thinking, though? What do you think episode 9 might be about? All right, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Rail Avross says, I'm still smiling. Okay, back to the show. Yes, Pedro, episode 9 shall be the run. Good. Steve Staranka, bro, good to see you in the chat, man. Look at all these yellow stars. So many 6-month members. You guys are the freaking best, man. I love this community. Happy Valentine's Day again. I love y'all. Happy to be spending my Valentine's Day with you guys. Tim says Jenny is trying to scare us. I felt like Jenny wasn't trying to scare us. It was the Kiners. The Kiners are breaking my heart. Good to see y'all though. Nerd Mafia says, keep thinking this way. I'll be winning predictions in no time. If Rail didn't save you with that super chat run now. Dude, Rail Everos, thank you for the $7 super. That's crazy, man. He says, we're all kids, even us old farts in our 50s. Trust me, the love for this stuff gets stronger with age. It really does. I can't wait then, man. Because spry age of almost 24 this Friday. I got a lot of aging to do, hopefully. A lot of Star Wars left to give. That's for sure. Cody will be back, says Rail Everos. Dude, I hope so. I hope so. If not this week, I think maybe next week. Next week is retrieval. So the retrieval of Cody needs to happen. Please. Don't just... You can't kill him off screen. You don't do that to us Star Wars fans that have been waiting years to see the continuation of his story after Revenge of the Sith. You don't do that. So at some point, I'm really hoping that we do get the continuation of Cody's story here after seeing him in episode 3. Because it's been a little bit since we checked up in him and Crosshair, you know, and maybe even it could be Crossing and Retrieval, like I said, is a 2-part thing with Cody and Crosshair kind of continuing that. Cody trying to escape, Crosshair trying to hunt him down. It would be wild. It would be wild. Hey, much love, Aaron Tomato. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, Friday is my birthday. I'm going to be going to Galaxy's Edge, actually. Shout out to my girlfriend for buying, you know, helping us out with tickets and whatnot. It's going to be a fun time, man. If you guys want any kind of content centered around Galaxy's Edge when I go there, anything ahead of time that you're interested in checking out or knowing a little bit about, definitely let me know. I would love to do some content with Galaxy's Edge. It's an awesome place to visit. If you guys have never been there or never had the chance to visit California or Florida to go do that, I hope you can at some point in your life. It's an awesome place to be. I've always hoped that they would expand it a little bit. Just a little bit. But it's freaking awesome. I love Galaxy's Edge. I know, I'm so old. I know, right? Dale says, Sid forgets to mention that the lizard is 90 feet tall with scales, lightsabers, and is impenetrable. Yeah, that would be wild if we get the Zillo Beast and Sid doesn't mention that. I mean, she is a little bit of a lizard herself, you know, trying to look out for her G's. Moni G, good to see you in the chat. He says, I think after tonight, we'll all need a hug. Maybe that's what Jen's trying to tell us. We need hugs. Although she was trying. It looked like she said that, you know, if you're still recovering from the last episode of the Bad Batch, this week's journey may be just what you need. In what way? In what way? Like, is it a good thing that we need, or are you trying to break our hearts? Real Admiral says, I'm older than the Emperor? Nah, man, that dude's like ancient. Saber Smith says, I'd love to see the droid depot. Ooh, that would be really cool. I don't know how much of that we saw in the trailers, but that would be really cool. I do think that, you know, like I said, it could be another adventure of the week. And even, you know, even if it is, I do think it could be the end of the adventures of the week. But if it is, the droid depot would be an awesome place to go to. Anakin Skywalker says Darth Vader is coming to Clone Force 99. We talked about that over at the Star Wars Obsession, actually, and I stepped in. I was like, I don't think we could see Vader at this point. I know it's only like 6-7 months maybe after Order 66. Who knows? Maybe even closer to a year by the time we get to, you know, over halfway through the season. I don't think we could see Vader, though. The dude is as rageful as he's ever going to be. He just lost his wife. And his, you know, and Obi-Wan and the Jedi Order. I mean, dude's angry. Bad Batch is not surviving an encounter with Vader. But it does raise the question, now that Rampart was thrown under the bus by Palpy last week, who's taking over? Who's gonna be kind of the dude that's after the Bad Batch? Are we gonna see Tarkin? That's kind of my thoughts right now. Maybe we're gonna see Tarkin kind of step in, try to take out the Batch like he was trying to back in the day. I think that might be where it's headed. I don't know, though. I'm interested to see what happens if we see more of Rampart's story, if that was kind of it, and he's just donezo, which, I mean, good riddance. Couldn't be happier that Rampart got what he deserved. Jen just gave us one early. Tonight we'll make last week look like fairies with spreading pixie dust and shooting heart-shaped arrows. We'll need a hug after this. Jen just gave us one early. Don't tell me that. Please don't tell me that. Baby Yoda, good to see you in the chat. He says, why hello there. I got the high ground. General Baby Yoda. Don Clouderman says, I love the record rail. Older than you and Emperor together. Don, we're not keeping score. Come on. You're still a spring chicken in my eyes. And you know what, Don? Shout out to you, because you said one of the greatest pieces of advice in our Discord the other day. If you're not part of the Vader's Lair Discord, what are you doing with your life? Go check out our Discord. You can get, hang out with a bunch of cool people that you see in the chat, talk some Star Wars, get alerted every time that we go live. But Dawn threw up some knowledge in our mental health channel. She basically said, let me pull it up just so I can read verbatim what it was. And then Star Wars Santa added onto it. Two wise old folk that are not so old in my opinion. But Dawn basically posted a picture, or Jedi Mike posted a picture. What if I just enjoy life for what it is right now instead of stressing about what I've yet to get out of it? But hey, maybe that's what I should be doing with the bad batch. What if I choose to enjoy this time? I know that once it goes, I won't get it back. And then Dawn added on by saying, my byword is be an 11-year-old, or at least approach life with the joy of an 11-year-old. I thought this was beautiful. She says, and I've been criticized for that. One can be childlike without being childish. That's definitely true. And Star Wars Santa added onto it, even saying that basically a big problem of fandoms in general, not just the Star Wars fandom, but fandoms in general, is that you need to look at shows and different things through the lens of like an 11-year-old. Like Dawn said, like that's really what it is. Like Star Wars has always done that for me, always, because from the young age of 5 years old, I saw Revenge of the Sith in the theaters. I loved it. I love Star Wars. I was such a big Star Wars fan, and every time I got transported back into the Star Wars universe, whether it was Clone Wars, Rebels, all the amazing content that's come out since Revenge of the Sith, it's like I go back to those moments, just a little 11-year-old me, and that's what Star Wars does, man. And especially with these animated shows, it's just awesome. Good night to you, nerd. Hey, bro, I feel you, man. I'm tired too. But yeah, that's just a little advice from some OGs. Saber Smith says, I'm happy to be in my 50s. However, I'm just a big kid at heart. That's awesome, man. Kylie says, I remember seeing the Clone Wars movie in theaters with my dad. Me too. Yeah, I was talking about it. We're going to get all sentimental now. I'm supposed to be doing a rant, damn it. We're going to get all sentimental, though. Definitely, I saw Revenge of the Sith at like 5 years old. I might have even seen Attack of the Clones when I was like 3. I don't remember. But one of the earliest memories of movies I have is seeing Revenge of the Sith and seeing all the trailers and being like, I can't wait, and I would go to my friend's house down the street and we would play Battlefront 2 for hours, just galactic conquest, you know what I mean? Take over the galaxy. It was fun, man, and that was really the foundation of my Star Wars fandom in childhood. I did not hear any of the, backlash against the prequels at the time, or, the hatred towards Ahsoka, really. Like, I think I maybe was a little bit aware of it, but it was like, it's kind of like it is now. Have some patience, these characters don't develop overnight. Like, it takes seasons, full seasons and years for these characters to get to where Ahsoka has gotten after her introduction way back in 2008. You know what I mean? Like, her character arc did not just happen. A lot of people didn't like her at first, and now she's like the most beloved character in the fandom almost. I mean, Baby Yoda's giving her a run for her money. But yeah. What was we saying in the chat? Commander Agree, good to see you. He says, I'm still alive and spare with General Yoda? I thought you got your head cut off. Interesting. Don Cotterman says, yes, there are 2 of them, just not tonight. Maybe I missed something. Kylie says, I remember. Oh, yeah. Read that one. Timothy says, back in the day, there wasn't social media really, so the hate was kind of different for the prequels. That was like the beginning of the internet age, though. It really was. There wasn't social media for sure, but the critics were everywhere, and the critics would crap all over the prequels. They would. And the sad thing? The critics were like crap. It looked like they were crapping on Quantumania, or at least half of them were. Not gonna lie, the post-credit scenes, they got leaked tonight. Couldn't keep my eyes away from them. They don't really spoil the movie, I'll tell you that. Oh man, I can't wait for Phase 5 of the MCU. But back to the Bad Batch here a little bit, and we'll continue to get into the comics. I'm worried for tonight. I don't know how much I can stress that. We're going to be doing our watch party here in an hour and a half from now, 11:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I don't know what to expect. I really don't. I'm kind of stumped. I got all these theories, and I'm just Jennifer Corbett, the Kiner brothers, they're throwing me off. I'm worried about Star Wars Santa's predictions, because right now I'm in the lead. I've never been in the lead. I've never been in the lead, and seeing all these Twitter stuff, I'm just like, bro, I'm gonna do terrible this week. No, don't worry, no spoilers. Never spoilers here anymore. We don't do that. No. I try to never do that now. They did, said Sabersmith. Yeah, they did. They definitely were crapping all over Quantumania. Shame on them. Shame on them. I can't wait to see it. I cannot wait to see it. The other thing with Quantumania, I forgot this the other day. Quantumania is also directed by the same director of the first two Ant-Man films, Peyton Reed. Peyton Reed is also the guy that did the Frog Lady episode of The Mandalorian and the Luke episode of The Mandalorian. Peyton Reed's an OG. I can't wait to see what he does in Quantumania, and I hope he makes a triumphant return to Star Wars at some point. Maybe in Mandalorian season 4 or something. It'd be pretty cool. Yeah, I promise. No spoilers. And then they're throwing you a curveball. They definitely are. They definitely are. So I don't know what else to say about the Bad Batch other than I'm scared. I'm scared. So let's dive into our next little bit of conversation here, which is probably going to be the bulk of the stream today, to be honest. Which is why Grogu returned to Din Djarin so quick. This has been going around Twitter all day, man. In fact, really the past like 2 days. Because Empire did all these articles, which you guys checked out some of them yesterday if you were hanging out with us. But Empire did like 5 or 6 different articles, and the big 20-page thing isn't even out yet. That comes out on Thursday. But one of the articles is titled Jon Favreau Reveals Why the Mandalorian and Grogu Had to Reunite in the Book of Boba. And the quote for it is, "We couldn't just hit a reset, or hit a hard reset. Everybody is losing their minds." It looks like The Last of Us over on Twitter, the way people are reacting to this. Even before this, Eckhart's Ladder, who I haven't watched too much of his content, but I saw he did, Eckhart's Clips is like one of his little side channels where he does like 1 or 2 minute videos. And Eckhart's Ladder, if you guys have never heard of him, again, just another Star Wars YouTuber, basically talked about this article. And you know what? He did have a little bit of sense that maybe we'll make this rant a little less. But not really. I'm about to go hard. So let's dive into this article, and then I'm going to go for my little rant. Let's do it, though. I got to pull it up for you guys. So give me 1 second. I want to make sure that the sizing is right. I apologize. Gosh, this takes forever to do. I should just like do a new one every time. Oh my god. So again, Jon Favreau reveals why the Mandalorian and Grogu had to reunite in the Book of Boba Fett. Let's get this thing going. Let's head into the article from Empire Magazine. It's going to take just 10 more seconds. Come on, computer, work with me. Come on. All right, here we go. This is gonna be as good as it gets. All right, sorry, chat. Thank you for bearing with me with this. My computer is already on the brink of destruction. We're gonna run this thing into the ground. All right, Jon Favreau once again reveals why the Mandalorian and Grogu had to reunite in the Book of Boba Fett. Alright, let's get through this article, and then I promise you guys, there's a rant coming again. A lot of people seem to enjoy my rant from yesterday. It was a good rant. It was a good rant. So this article says, at the end of The Mandalorian Season 2, fans were left with boundless questions, since Pedro Pascal's Din Djarin had just handed baby Grogu over to none other than Luke Skywalker for the little green guy to undertake Jedi training. What did this mean for the show? It goes on to say, was that the end of Grogu's story? Would the rest of The Mandalorian follow another narrative? Would it totally reboot and follow another Mandalorian character altogether? What? That seems a little ridiculous. I don't think any of us really thought about that. And trust me, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. So, would it the emotional I think they misworded this. The emotional of that departure was deeply felt, but as it turned out, audiences didn't need to be quite so concerned. In the Book of Boba Fett, we checked in with Grogu and Mando on their separate paths and ultimately got to witness their reunion after Grogu chose to forego a Jedi destiny with Luke in favor of a life with his Mandalorian dad. So cute. In a major new interview alongside his Mandalorian co-creator Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau reflected on the choice to bring our hero and his young ward back together. We couldn't just hit a hard reset, Favreau tells Empire in the Mandalorian Season 3 issue. It's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds for people who may not have seen the Book of Boba Fett. And that's my biggest thing. For the people that didn't see the Book of Boba Fett, you're missing out. And that's the thing. Everybody wants to crap all over the Book of Boba, or say it was an L for Star Wars. And I'm not saying the Book of Boba is fantastic. It's good. It's good. Although people will still be hesitant to even say that. It's good. Freaking damn it. But it's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds for people who have not seen the Book of Boba Fett. But I think the Book of Boba Fett offered time to pass, says Jon Favreau. You saw what Mando was like without Baby Yoda, and we saw what Grogu was like without the Mandalorian. And neither of them was doing so great. So them coming back together was a really good plot point that allows us to jump back into Season 3 while maintaining the central relationship. Seems pretty good, right? That's what everybody's tripping about. This literally is what everyone's tripping about. The exact part right here that everyone's tripping about was the part where he says that Book of Boba Fett offered time to pass. And you saw what Mando was like without Baby Yoda, and we saw what Grogu was like without the Mandalorian, and neither of them was doing too good. People are tripping over this. They're like, we barely saw them depart. Well, you still saw them. Grogu was struggling with his Jedi training. Din was struggling to use the Darksaber. He cut a little slice off his leg. Like, come on. Obviously, we don't know how much time has passed in the Book of Boba Fett between Mandalorian Season 2 and then. But Star Wars is notorious for doing this. Like, Luke, I'm pretty sure, like, who knows how long he was actually on Dagobah training. You know what I mean? Like, people talk about how Rey barely trained and blah, 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 blah. It's like, dude, Luke was probably on Dagobah for like 6 to 8 hours. What do you mean? Like, we have no concept of the passage of time in Star Wars. Like, they don't tell us these things. It just happens. So, while yes, there wasn't that much time from what it seemed. We didn't really see them apart for very long. Maybe they could have just had Din Djarin by himself throughout the entire Book of Boba Fett. But the thing is, and here's my rant, it was always supposed to be this way. It was literally always supposed to be this way. Let's head back in the lair and we'll actually continue this article here in a minute, because I gotta go on this rant. It was supposed to be this way. Grogu was supposed to be in the Book of Boba Fett, and it has nothing to do with the fact that Disney wanted them to sell more merch. Yes, don't get me wrong. Disney wanted more merch. Of course they do. Of course. But Jon Favreau literally told us back before Season 1, hey guys, this new show, The Mandalorian, is coming out. You know, a lot of it's inspired by this old movie back in the day called Paper Moon. Shout out to my buddy Star Wars Santa for this, because he was the one that found it back in the day, and he's been on it ever since. If you guys don't know the story of Paper Moon, I've talked about it plenty of times here. I talked about it with Star Wars Obsession earlier. Paper Moon is the story of a little girl that basically goes on this crazy adventure, being taken away from her family, sort of, or, you know, getting lost from her family, and she goes on this crazy adventure with a shady dude. Sounds a lot like Grogu going on a crazy adventure after getting rescued by Mando. And the majority of the story of Paper Moon, they're going on this crazy adventure. The two create, a pretty strong bond together. And then the shady guy gives the girl back to her family. The girl doesn't last a day with her family. She's literally like, you know what? Screw this. I like the shady guy better. And she literally, at the end of the movie, goes back with the shady guy. And that's literally what happens in the Book of Boba Fett. You see Din Djarin, and he's like, damn, I miss Grogu. You know what? I'm going to go visit him. So he goes to visit him. He gets there. Ahsoka's like, F off. Like, dude, leave. You can't interrupt his training. You're going to make him feel attachments. No bueno. And Grogu's sitting there going, I miss Din. I miss Din. And then he gets flashbacks of Order 66, and he's like, oh, nah, bro. Like, the Jedi Order, this stuff? No. He gets a choice to be a Jedi or a Mandalorian, and what does he do? Goes right back to Din Djarin, just like Paper Moon. And people are like, oh, it happened early. Why couldn't we wait till season 3? Sure, we could have waited till season 3, but the whole point is that Jon Favreau literally told us this is going to be based on the story of Paper Moon. And the Book of Boba Fett was literally marketed at one point as The Mandalorian Season 2.5. People literally thought that it was The Mandalorian Season 3 when it was being made. There were literal actors that went on set and thought that they were working on The Mandalorian just to find out it was the Book of Boba Fett. It was always supposed to be this way. Din Djarin is supposed to be in the Book of Boba Fett because that's how Boba is going to be brought into the Mandalorian culture. At the end of the dang show, he's like, yo, this, I already found out this bounty hunting life wasn't for me because it ended up getting me stuck in a sarlacc. Hell no, I'm not doing that again. Then throughout the Book of Boba Fett, he's trying to protect the people that he has created a bond with, because he has a bond now with Tatooine. And throughout, that, he tries to be a crime boss, dude. Live a good life. Be like Jabba, where he doesn't have to do much. Except he finds out because he cares about the people. It's a hard job. And he's literally at the end of Book of Boba, he's like, I don't think this is for me. And who does he find a connection with at the end of Book of Boba Fett? A character like Boba Fett who's been searching for a connection his whole life. Din Djarin. A Mandalorian. And it's almost clear as day to me that in Season 3 of The Mandalorian, we're going to see Boba Fett. And he's likely going to become a Mandalorian himself. Because he's not really one now, but I think he's going to be. And that's the whole freaking point of the Book of Boba Fett is, hey, we got to check up on this dude, tell you his story after the Sarlacc pit, and how we are going to lead him to becoming a Mandalorian. And that just goes over people's head. And yes, maybe you didn't need to put Grogu in there, but the whole freaking point is that it's based off of Paper Moon, where Din Djarin is going to bring Grogu to the Jedi, and then Grogu's going to be like, screw this, I'm out. And the worst part is the people that are moaning and complaining about it and being like, it happened so quick, they're also literally saying in the next sentence, I know we all knew that Grogu was going to go back to him, so why do you care? Why do you care that it happened so fast? I remember after Mando Season 2, everyone's like, oh, what are they going to do without Baby Yoda? Oh. And now you're complaining, oh, he came back too fast. Like, make up your minds. Make up your minds. Sorry, headphone users. Everybody's ears, I'm sorry. I know they're bleeding. I apologize. Maybe I'm going a little too hard. I'm just saying. It's so annoying to me to see all these, like, even the cool Star Wars fans, the ones that aren't all negativity, you know what I mean? Even the cool Star Wars fans are out here being like, it happened so fast. Like, shut up. I'm sorry. I know. I'm not a mean person. It's annoying. Why? Why are you complaining about this? Why did we literally all knew that Grogu was going back to Din? We did. Even you said it. You that are watching and complaining on Twitter. You said it. You literally said he's going to come back to him. So why are you shocked that it happened in the Book of Boba Fett? I will say the one thing that I will complain about, and it's not even a real complaint. Like, yeah, I get what you guys are saying. From a certain point of view, I definitely do. I understand. It takes away from the story of Boba Fett there at the end of the season, but you're missing the point. You're missing the point that Din Djarin being injected into the story is because that's going to lead Boba Fett's story in the future. All of the Book of Boba Fett is a launching pad for Boba's future, and you guys don't see that. I mean, you guys in the chat probably do. I'll get into the chat here in a little bit. I gotta continue with my rant. But you guys complaining on Twitter, talking about how it happened quicker than it should have, or they missed an opportunity. What opportunity did they miss? Where? I mean, even Jon Favreau says in this article, you know, I think, you know, for the Book of Boba Fett, the people that didn't watch it, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I will say, my grandpa, who's, you know, damn near 80 years old, I know you guys complaining on Twitter aren't 80, but my grandpa, who's 80 years old, didn't watch the Book of Boba Fett. He sees the Mandalorian Season 3 trailers, you know, during playoff season for football, and he goes, oh, they reunited? And I was like, yeah, that was in the Book of Boba Fett. And I'm like thinking in my head, dang, my grandpa definitely didn't watch that. But like, come on, man. So what? The grandpas didn't watch it. They'll go back and watch it. I'm going to tell my grandpa, yo, the Book of Boba Fett's pretty interesting if you want to check it out. It has some Mandalorian stuff and some Grogu. Go watch it before Season 3. You know, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. And again, they literally marketed the Book of Boba Fett as the Mandalorian Season 2.5. I mean, we only found out about the Book of Boba Fett in the post-credits scene for Mandalorian Season 2. It's literally a continuation. And yes, we're following Boba, and Din, you know, takes over his story, whatever you want to say, but it's like, I don't know, man. I don't get it. Yeah, I'm a clown. I'm a clown. I know a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me on this one, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going on a lot of rants lately. It's the dark side taking over. I gotta go read the chat now. How are we feeling in the chat? Are you guys, you know, cancel me? Is that what it is? Cancel Sheiv now. Let me go back up a little bit. See, I don't even know when this started. Alright, let's see. The Book of Boba Fett was so bad, not even close to Clone Wars, says Baby Yoda. Whew, see, there it is. Rant incoming, says Sabersmith. Rant time. Critics turn into haters as soon as they see CGI. You said it, Timothy. I don't know what's going on. Hey, Star Wars Obsession, good to see you in the chat, my man. Ash Cameron, good to see you too. Much love. It's one continuous story. You said it, Sabersmith. It literally is. It's everything in the Mandoverse is a continuous story. Maybe we didn't see all of the time that Din Djarin and Grogu were separated, but time has passed. As Jon Favreau says, there's been a bit of passage of time. Hasn't been maybe like years, but we don't need to know the exact amount of time that's passed. It's clear as day that time has passed. I mean, Din Djarin's out here doing new stuff. He's using the Darksaber to complete missions, chopping dudes in half. And Grogu's over here training with Luke. Obviously, time has passed. And yes, the two characters are struggling without each other, which is why they go back to each other. The two missed each other. They have an emotional connection, a father and son bond. Of course they're going to reunite. We all knew that. To Aaron Tomato says, it was a fun ride, even if it wasn't exactly what was expected. It doesn't deserve as much crap as people give it. No, it doesn't. The Book of Boba Fett is crapped all over, and I think it's just misunderstood. I'm not saying that the Vespa bike people were great. I don't even like them that much, but I think that's kind of part of the story. I think that's part of it, and people, that just goes over people's head. Literally, Boba even says to the Vespa dudes at the beginning of that, he's like, nah. And then, like, he literally has no one else at the time, so he's like, all right, come help me. You know what I mean? Like, that's part of his journey. He's trying to figure out how to be a crime boss, and then he realizes, I don't want to be a crime boss. Sure, maybe people will say it was a waste of time or something, or I don't know. Timothy says, I still think Boba and the tribe stuff is going to be parallel to the Mandos being like a tribe. Exactly, man. So my whole thing with Boba Fett and why the Book of Boba Fett's important to his character in particular is that Boba Fett was a young child who lost his father and went into his father's profession because that was the only life he knew. Except the people that he worked with were kind of buttholes. You think about Aura Singh. Heck, Bosca's kind of a butthole too. All the bounty hunters are focused on themselves. And that's it. And from the time Boba is a boy, he's looking for belonging. He's looking for a place that he belongs. He doesn't really belong as a bounty hunter, but he's good at it. His father taught him how to do it. He's a clone of Jango. Of course he's freaking good at being a bounty hunter. Except where did bounty hunting get him? The belly of a Sarlacc. Where he would, again, with the passage of time, we don't even know how long Boba was in the Sarlacc, but nobody really complains about that. I mean, sure, some people probably do. I'm just saying, Boba's story, he realized that if you're a bounty hunter long enough, your story ends up dead in the sand. And I've said this before many times, but throughout, think back to Mandalorian Season 1. Fennec Shand is left for dead in the sand. She's an assassin, a bounty hunter. End of Book of Boba Fett. What happens to Cad Bane? Another notorious bounty hunter. He ends up dead in the sand. It's just, all of these bounty hunters end up dead in the sand, and Boba was able to have a second chance, and he found belonging with the Tusken tribe. Except, of course, the Tusken tribe is murdered. He has belonging and, a care for the people of Tatooine at this point, because that's what he's come to call his new home. So that's the whole purpose of the Book of Boba, is him having this new home, trying to basically find his way in the galaxy now, like his father before him. And when he realizes this new thing he's trying to do doesn't work out, just like bounty hunting, the one person that he finds belonging with at the end of the story is Din Djarin, a Mandalorian. And we're going back to Tatooine, people. He's gonna be in the Mandalorian Season 3. He's gonna be a Mandalorian. He is a Mandalorian for all intents and purposes. Steve Staranka says, at the end of the day, Book of Boba Fett and a Mandoverse story, so anything from Mando is fair game, period. You said it, my man. Aaron Tomato says, people wanted Luke's rescue to feel weightier, so they thought Grogu should be away from Din longer. But the way the plot was unfolding makes a lot of sense. The Jedi even foreshadows this. Yeah, it does. It does. It's all connected, as Sabersmith said. It's all connected. Not just Tatooine. The sands of Tatooine. You said it, Steve Staranka. Rerun Trading, it's good to see you in the chat. Timothy says, LOL, Book of Boba made so much sense. Yeah, I read that one. It definitely makes a lot of sense to me. And I get the execution wasn't amazing at times, but I love it. Me too, man. I had a blast covering the Book of Boba, and it's still an awesome show to me. Even to this day, you know what I mean? I think it's only going to age better, like fine wine, It's still a whole year till we get to Mando. We could have gotten him in the same season if it was Mando. The time for us would have always been the same. Yeah, I mean, again, I will say Eckhart's Ladder, when I was watching his clips thing earlier, he did make some sense saying that, we could have had Grogu not be in the Book of Boba Fett at all, and just have Din Djarin's character growth. But that's the thing, man. We open up with Din Djarin missing Grogu. He goes to visit him, and he brings the Beskar chainmail. We even learn, what's going on with Din taking off his helmet. Yes, it kind of takes away from Boba's story, but That's because we needed to focus on Din and why he's in the or why he was in the Book of Boba Fett, which he needed to be in the Book of Boba Fett. And you can't put Din Djarin in the Book of Boba Fett and not have him not worried about Grogu at all. That doesn't make sense. He just gave him away. Of course he's gonna go visit Grogu. What else would he do? He's literally, come on. It's been a while, apparently, according to Jon Favreau. We don't know the exact time frame, but it just, I'm confused why you guys are confused on Twitter. You know? It just... You guys, hey, hold up. No, I know. I'm talking to the Twitter people that are freaking out. Trust me. This community in general definitely has their A game with Star Wars. Knows what I'm talking about here. That's why I'm preaching to y'all and going on this rant. Alright, let me see what else y'all are saying in this chat. Many points have been made today. No, this needs to be said. Sabersmith, I hope I'm not a clown. Din even says to Boba, you didn't have any other friends in that finale. Literally, he has nobody but the Vespa gang. Which is, Boba even knows he's gonna fail with them. That's the whole point of them. He has the Vespa gang and Black Chrysanthemum, which Black K is pretty cool. I would love to see some more of Black K. You know what I mean? Yes, Chad Bain. Real Admiral says the Book of Boba Fett was just not what we waited for. Our headcanon was different. None of us expected Fett to grow up. I definitely agree, man. I think that is really part of the issue that fans had with it is, you know, 40 years of having your headcanon a certain way of what this character is going to be like and him being different than maybe what you expected. And unfortunately, that's a reality of life. It's not just a Star Wars thing or a Boba Fett thing. That's a reality of life. Things don't always turn out the way we hope. And I know you know what I'm talking about, you know? It makes so much sense for his character, though. If you go back and watch the Clone Wars and what Boba Fett was doing, trying to get revenge for Mace Windu, that's literally all that Boba really cared about. We even see that in the beginning of the Book of Boba when he's having flashbacks of his father still in the back of the tank, you know? That's the other thing. I think all of this is setting it up for, you know, this season of Mandalorian. Boba's gonna realize, like you said, he had no other friends but Din Djarin. He's gonna realize that his father was a Mandalorian. Din Djarin is like the only friend he has. He's gonna go help Din again, and he's gonna learn more about his father's past. He's gonna learn more about Jango and how Jango, at one point, was, I think, a Mandalore, or at least in the EU he was. Jaster Mareel, one of the former owners of the armor that Boba wears, was the Mandalore. There's so much history behind that armor that Boba wears. Heck, I have a theory that Boba's gonna be the Mandalore one day too. Back in the Book of Boba Fett, when we have Din Djarin talking to, you know, what's her name? The armorer. She literally has a line where she says, legends foretell that the mythosaur will rise up and usher in a new age of Mandalore. Whose signet is the mythosaur? Boba! Does this just go over everybody on Twitter's head? I know Twitter's a dark place. You guys need a little help with things, but come on. I'm going too far with it, man. I'm sorry. Twitter people, I apologize. You're wrong, though. Alright, I'm sorry. The rant is over. I went a little hard. Rail Admiral says he grew up knowing he was a clone. His father was killed by a space wizard. He ended up in a Sarlacc for 5 years and came out with more muscle than when he was in. Yes, he changed. Yeah, I mean, going through a near-death experience is gonna change you. Especially when you're getting, you know, acid burns in a Sarlacc. I mean, maybe it was just the armor getting burned, but still. I was a soldier for 25 years. I'm positive had I saw my dad killed by a wizard, I would be a changed man. Rail, you said it, man. I had no idea you were a soldier for 25 years, but dude, thank you for serving. I don't even know where you're from, but thank you for serving. That's awesome. Rail also says, I'm impressed that the Sarlacc actually was good for his health. That's pretty funny. I mean, he somehow came out a little chunkier too. Like, must have been 4-course meals down there. At the end of the day, these are all stories, man. That's the thing, man. Star Wars, we have so much passion and love for it. I know we take it too serious sometimes, man. It's a good story. Like I said earlier, we should, like Dawn and Santa were trying to say in the Discord, we should look at these things through the lens of an 11-year-old. That's so beautiful to me. If you're an 11-year-old, you're not worried about, you know, Grogu returning to Mando too early. You're not thinking about that. You're just like, oh my god, it's so cool to see Din and Grogu in the Book of Boba Fett. You know what I mean? You're not worried about, oh, it happened before season 3. It's not. No. Are you going to do a Mando rewatch before season 3, says Kylie. Kylie, good to see you in the chat, by the way. I didn't think you would be here, but awesome to see you. Probably not. I was talking about it with my boy Perbs in our Discord the other day, or really in the DMs. And I do kind of want to do a rewatch, but it's 15 days away now. Mandalorian is 2 weeks away. 2 weeks from today, we're going to be doing a preview for Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 1. That's so freaking crazy to me. That's so awesome. I can't wait. I freaking can't wait. But 15 days is very little time to watch 16 episodes. We can try. Let me know in the chat. Do you guys want to do a rewatch of Mando? I could try to fit it in. I mean, I could try. We could try to do it. Here, we'll throw up a poll. Thank you guys if you're still here. I know that was quite the long rant. Some of you may disagree with me even. That's okay. It's all right. But here, let me throw up a poll. Do you want to rewatch The Mandalorian before season 3? Here on the channel, that is. Do you want to watch The Mandalorian before season 3? Here on the channel. Do you want to rewatch The Mandalorian before season 3? Here at Vader's Lair. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the poll. Sorry, that took me a bit to type. I'm very slow typer. Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the poll. Do you want to see The Mandalorian season, or do you want to rewatch Mandalorian season 1 and 2 before Mando season 3? Yes. All right. I've seen enough. Put in your answers in the poll. Hey, much love to you, Rail. You're awesome, you, my guy. Always love to see you, man. Don says, I hope the Mandalorian protectors show up. The Sarlacc mind melds with its victims. Yes, that's crazy. I forgot about that. The Sarlacc does mind meld with its victims. I mean, maybe that's why Boba was having some lizard trips and everything, too. I'm definitely down to rewatch The Mandalorian. Steve, hey, I hope you get some rest, my dude. It's all good that you're not going to make it for the Bad Batch. If you do watch the replay, enjoy it, my man. And I hope you enjoy the episode. Can't wait for 2 weeks from now for The Mandalorian. I hope to see you there, my man. Much love to you, my brother. All right, so Sabersmith says, I'm so excited. I can't wait to see all the Mandos. Me too, man. We were covering it the other day with all the different cool Mando stuff and all the pictures of the Mandalorians and stuff. I can't wait. I can't wait, man. It's so cool that we're getting to finally expand on the Mandalorian really universe. You know what I mean? Really the backstory of the Mandalorians, even what's going on with their culture now. I think we're really going to open up to that. And it's so cool. Because, we've had tidbits in Clone Wars, Rebels, here and there throughout, Star Wars. We've had tidbits of the Mandalorians and their culture and everything. But I think we're diving fully into it now, and I freaking can't wait. I can't wait, man. It's definitely coming. It's been coming fast. It's definitely going to come even faster. Hey, Kylie, all good. Thank you for hanging out with us. I hope to see you in the next one. And enjoy your sleep. Enjoy the Bad Batch tomorrow if you watch it. Much love to you, Kylie. Real Lavros says, yes, we have to look at this like we're kids. And once you do that, it's perfect. Usually, man. Usually, if you transport yourself back to when you first watch Star Wars, you're not gonna nitpick the same. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be the same. Tim says, How it's gonna how is that gonna be possible? We have 2 weeks. I don't know. We're gonna find a way, man. Maybe we'll do like 3-4 episodes a day or something. I mean, the episodes aren't full hour length, so that will maybe make it doable. But it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. 78% of you guys out of 9 votes say yes. So maybe we'll do it. I gotta plan it out now. I'll let you guys know in the Discord if we're actually gonna be able to do it. Right now I'm thinking it's maybe possible. We could start on Saturday. Heck, we can even start tomorrow. I'm down. Kylie, I hope you get some rest. Aaron Tomato says, oh yeah, it's gonna come fast. T. Davidson, good to see you in the chat. He says, maybe just skip the boring episodes. That's if there even is one. There isn't. Can't skip any of them, man. 1 season a weekend. Yep. 1 season a weekend. or just do the important ones. We'll try to do it. Tim says, I mean, you did do 4-hour Clone Wars streams before. Exactly. It won't be too hard. We'll find a way. This is the way. So let's get back into our article. Thanks for bearing with us if you're still here after the rants. I'm sure like 20 people left and they're like, screw this guy. Let's get into it though. Continuing on with what John had to say about Grogu returning to Din in the Book of Boba Fett. So here we go. Continuing on. Where even was I? So, yes, we were left with boundless questions, offered time, blah, 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 blah. So, let's start with this part here. While the upcoming season restores the show's original dynamic, it was important that Grogu's time with Luke wasn't for nothing. It just ultimately wasn't his path. I think John basically explains, I think you have to service both things. Just because this kid has the potential and had training, does he belong far away from the Mandalorian? I saw it more like Paper Moon. Wow. It's almost like I just went on a rant about this. Where the whole thing is about delivering the kid to the blood relative, only to realize that whether genetically through her father or just through bonding, Tatum O'Neal has to end up with Ryan O'Neal. I think he's talking about Paper Moon. That went over my head. That ending feels really good to me. And this little kid, Grogu, is given a decision to choose. And the kid chooses the emotional relationship. What is happening on Empire? I'm trying to read a damn article. Stop throwing up your ads. Where was I? The ad threw me off. And the kid chooses the emotional relationship and wants to be with the Mandalorian and passing up Yoda's lightsaber. Yeah, I forgot about that. He literally said, I'll take the Beskar over to Yoda's lightsaber. Are you kidding me? That I disagree with. Bro, you chose wrong. I would definitely choose Yoda's lightsaber. Part of you wants to see him develop in that way and part the other. Yeah, that is, again, like I just said, like, there's a part of all of us that would love to see Grogu continue his development as a Jedi. But we also kind of want to see him as a Mandalorian. And I think at the end of the day, the Mandalorian that the show is referring to isn't Din Djarin, in my opinion. It's Grogu. This whole dang show is really kind of about Grogu. I mean, the first episode literally is the introduction of him. You know what I mean? It's the story of the father and son Mandalorian. And Grogu is the Mandalorian just as much as Din is, in my opinion. Just like Brendan Wayne, Lateef Crowder. Brendan Wayne, Lateef Crowder. Sheiv, you gotta remember that name. Brendan Wayne, Lateef Crowder, and Pedro Pascal. Just like the three of them are the Mandalorian. Boba's the Mandalorian too. Both Din Djarin and Grogu are the Mandalorian as well. So from his travels with Din Djarin to his time traveling with Luke and into the future adventures of Season 3 and beyond, it's all a case of building up a character in Grogu unlike any other in the Star Wars galaxy. Hell yeah! That made me hyped. You have this interesting character who has Jedi training to some extent, Force abilities, but also is joining the Mandalorian culture, which we've established is something that you can opt into and it demands a lot. It offers a lot, says Favreau. Historically, Mandalorians develop all of those tools and armor and weapons to be able to counteract the Force abilities of the Jedi. So as a storyteller, this offers tremendous opportunity. Now, can we see Grogu and his tiny Beskar chainmail, please? Yes, I want to see it. And again, here's Empire's awesome new cover for the Mandalorian extravaganza, 20-page extravaganza, and this coming out on Thursday. So continuing on with the article, it talks about read Empire's major new interview with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, spanning their entire journey with the Mandalorian so far, and what comes next in the upcoming world exclusive The Mandalorian Season 3 issue. Maybe the rest of it's just a plug. We'll probably get into this Dave Filoni one here. Dave Filoni on how the Clone Wars influences his storytelling on The Mandalorian. We'll probably get into that one later in the week, because I'm excited for it. But let's head back into the lair. Let's see what y'all are thinking about this article and what Jon Favreau had to say. Because, well, I told y'all. It's literally all about character progression. The story was about, a similar story to Paper Moon, and that was always the plan, which is why they were reunited in the Book of Boba Fett. And I don't know why people are tripping so much. Let's see what y'all are saying in the chat. Yes, one season a weekend is definitely going to be how we have to do it. He can be both, says Sabersmith. He can. He can. Tar Vizsla did that. Tar Vizsla was with Jedi Mandalorian as well. And Grogu is the next Tar Vizsla in a way, in my opinion. And I can't wait for it. The cool thing about this, too, is not only is he a Jedi and a Mandalorian, but he's also a Yoda species. He's three of the coolest thing in Star Wars, all mixed together into one. That's the most brilliant thing that's ever been thought of. It really is. It really is. That's why Grogu works as well as he does. And the other thing about the fact that he's a Grogu species and these other two things is, well, Tar Vizsla lived probably like 60, 70 years at most. Grogu's gonna be a Mandalorian Jedi for the next 850 years. It's brilliant. That's hands up to you, John and Dave. It's brilliant. You could literally tell Grogu's story for the rest of the time. You could. There's so much time for Grogu's story to develop. Our grandkids could still be getting stories about Grogu, and it would be awesome. Like, that's so cool. That's a cool idea. Genius. It really is, Sabersmith. It really is. Rail Avros says, I really like how they are doing Palpatine. Me too. A lot of the stuff that Palpatine's been in lately, it's awesome to see how they're doing Palpatine. I mean, I love it. I was never a big Sheiv fan. I used to be like, that dude's a butthole. Like, that's how I always feel about certain villains, whether it's Rampart, Palpatine. Like, one of my favorite characters in Star Wars is Anakin Skywalker. He's like a top 3 character for me, if not top 2. And yeah, top 3. It's Grogu. In no particular order, it's Grogu, Anakin, and Ezra Bridger. Those are my 3 favorite Star Wars characters. And when Palpy was, manipulating the hell out of Anakin, and I was just a little 5-year-old kid watching that, I was like, hell no. I hated Palpatine. But now, obviously, I go by Sheiv, so, respect. But yeah, Palpatine's crazy. I love how they've been doing him as well. I thought that the last 2 episodes of The Bad Batch, bringing him into the way that they did, having him kind of just throw Rampart under the bus and drive over him 5 times. It was so Palpatine, and it was amazing. It was awesome. Heck, even seeing him in Kenobi and having that little scene where he talks to Vader and he's all like, "You must stop searching for Kenobi." And Vader's just like, "Wait, what?" They're doing great with Palpy and a lot of the stuff he's been in. It's reminds me of the way they're handling Vader and a lot of stuff. It's awesome. It's awesome. I hope we see Palpatine in Andor season 2. I hope if we get a Kenobi season 2 somehow, we get to see him in that. Hell, I would love to see like a clone of Palpatine or something in Mandalorian season 3 or 4 or something, just down the line. It doesn't have to be a Force sensitive one per se, but just like, you know, more cloning stuff with Palpy is always cool as we get closer to the sequels eventually. It's cool, man. Rail Averell says Palpatine in Jedi is hilarious. In the Death Star, he literally bickers with look like he having a basic workplace argument. No, he does. Luke not look. He bickers with Luke like he's having a basic workplace argument. He's like, Death Star is fully operational. I've always loved the way that Family Guy does that scene. Sabersmith says Rebels equals big Star Wars hug. It does. Yeah. I'm with you, Sabersmith. I'm one of the biggest Rebels lovers in the world. Star Wars Rebels is my favorite Star Wars anything. It is. For those of you that don't know, or a lot of you probably do know, but for those of you that don't know, I am such a big Rebels fan. It's so good. I'm gonna go on a whole Rebels tangent now, just because you said that, Sabersmith. This is your fault. I watched the first episode of Rebels, or the first like 2 episodes of Rebels on Disney Plus or Disney XD back in the day, right? And I remember thinking, this is fun, but it was similar to Clone Wars, where it would drop on like a weekly basis, and it's hard to keep up with stuff like that on Disney XD. When I don't even know if I had Disney XD at the time. You know, it might have just been something I had for a little bit on my, you know, cable, and then, you know, mom didn't pay for Disney XD or whatever the next month, so I didn't have it. But I didn't watch all the way through season 1 when it came out, and I remember hearing that Ahsoka came into it, and I was like, what the heck? Like, what's going on with this show? This is pretty cool. And then we get to the end of season 2, and I hear about all this crazy stuff of Ahsoka fighting Vader. It was like in the background of my life at the time, so I didn't really hear too much about it, but it was happening, and I was like, what's going on here? And then we get to season 3, and when the Twin Sons episode with Obi-Wan versus Maul happened, I was like, what am I missing? What is going on with this show? And I went back and binged all 3 seasons right that night. Like literally one of the week that the Twin Sons episode dropped, I was like, what the heck? And I watched all 3 seasons up to that point, and I was like, yo, this stuff is good. And season 4 is dropping, and I was, you know, same kind of thing. It's on Disney XD. I didn't have Disney XD at the time, so it was like, you know, I'm gonna wait for season 4 to drop. I'm gonna wait for all of this to happen. And so it got down to like the last 4 episodes, and I kept seeing all of these trailers for the last 4 episodes of season 4. So what I did was I went back to season 1 and watched the whole thing over again. No, I'm kidding, Sabersmith. Dude, I love Rebels. Please, thank you. I went back and watched the whole thing over again, all the way up to the last 4 episodes that I was missing, and then I caught those on Disney XD every night that they dropped the last 4 episodes, and it's so good. I can't wait for the Ahsoka show, because it's finally going to continue this story that I've been waiting years to see the continuation of, and I can't wait to get more Ahsoka. I can't wait to get more of the Rebels characters. I can't believe we've been streaming for an hour and 16 minutes. That's why everybody's gone. Well, that and my rants, but alright, y'all, I gotta get out of here soon. Thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. I'm not leaving quite yet, so if you guys want to throw any questions into the chat, I'll definitely be sure to get them. But I do gotta go set up the stream for our watch party, because that is in about under 45 minutes, I think. So that's going to be at 11:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to be watching episode 9 of The Bad Batch. I know we barely talked about The Bad Batch today, because I don't know what to expect. I'm worried. I'm scared. Yeah, make sure to smash that like button. Thank you all for being here. Timothy says, I finished Rebels seconds before Mando Season 2 dropped. Yo, that's awesome. That's awesome, Tim. I'm glad you were able to finish it before Mando Season 2 because, of course, Ahsoka ended up coming in that season as well. That's so cool, Tim. That's so cool, Timothy. Rail Admiral says, your rants are great. I really haven't done too many in the 2 years that I've had the channel, but it needs to be a more reoccurring thing. Maybe people are going to disagree with me at times, and that's okay. That's what happens when you're in the Star Wars fan. Hey, I appreciate you guys. The three of you in the chat right now, you guys are the best, man. I'm sure there's other people maybe too, but thank you guys. You should hear me rant, says Rail. I would love to. I genuinely love, dude. Rail, I agree with you on so many things. I'm not even kidding. The three of you in the chat right now, are some of my favorite people to talk to in the chat. You guys are freaking awesome. Never hold back. I can't let the darkness consume me completely. It's not about holding back. I never really hold back on the channel. I'm just this genuinely crazy. I'm a pretty genuinely nice guy though, and I don't really have too much negative to ever say about Star Wars or the Star Wars fandom in general. There's a lot of negativity out there. We all know that. It's pretty obvious. So having the opportunity to have a Star Wars channel, having the opportunity to have viewers that actually come to watch my Star Wars channel, and having this space, man, I'm gonna make it as positive as I can always. And yes, I'll go on rants in the future. That's definitely gonna be a more reoccurring thing. But I definitely want to make everybody feel inclusive too. And I know that sometimes my rants are gonna be a little up for debate. We all have our opinions on Star Wars, and it's all good. It's all good. You need the obsession helium? I know. That's got to be one of the greatest things. I love when Star Wars Obsession does that. I want it now. It's so good. It's so good. I mean, Obsession's an audio master, so so much love to that guy. He's like 7. Don, you're right up there too. You heard one of my. I'm telling you, the four of you in the chat are the most awesome people. I love you guys. You need the obsession helium? I do though. I do. Obsession's a great dude. It looked like he was 17 subscribers away from getting 1,000, which, I mean, most of you guys might not know that are left here. I was probably gonna get 1,000 anyway, but I was like stuck around like 940 subs for a long time. And Obsession made this huge stream where he got me to 1,000 subscribers in less than 20 minutes. I mean, the dude had 500 subscribers himself, and in less than 20 minutes, he got me the 60 subs I needed to get over 1,000. So, Obsession is just a great human being, a very nice guy. He's awesome, man. He's awesome. Hey, you're awesome too. You're awesome too, Sabersmith. I love hearing from you that you talk with your kids about Star Wars, or the kids in your class about Star Wars. That's so cool to me. And I know they're college kids and everything, but that makes it even cooler to me. I want to take a course from you, Sabersmith. I don't even know what you teach. I want to take a course from you. just to have you as a professor, man. That would be cool. I only learned what Discord was this evening. It's all good, Rail. I was there once too. Look, Discord is a headache. Not gonna lie, I love Discord, but it's such a headache. Especially the way that I probably make it more of a headache having all the different channels in there. But especially when you're first getting into Discord, it is so discombobulating. Creative writing, of course. That's awesome, dude. I would definitely love to take your class. Okay, now you retracted it. It's not creative writing. He did a raid. Yeah, he kind of did do a raid, right, Don? It was awesome. It was awesome. I couldn't believe he did that. I mean, Obsession has done so many different things for me. I can't even explain it. It really has. I love that guy. I truly have. I love him as much as I love you guys in the chat right now. All of you are some awesome people. This whole community is filled with awesome people, and it keeps me going, man. Along with the Mando hype and the animated Star Wars hype, it just, some days are not always the best. Although I've definitely been having some good ones lately, and you guys keep it going, man. You make me happy. I'm happy that I was able to spend my Valentine's Day with you guys. Feel the love. It's an awesome time to be a Star Wars fan. It's an awesome time to be in this community. I love y'all. I love y'all from the bottom of my heart. Timothy, I love you. Rail Avros, I definitely love you. Sabersmith, love you. Don, love you too. I love y'all. My spelling, creative writing. Hey, look, man, you don't need spelling to do creative writing. You just gotta, if you're close enough. It's also autocorrect. That's what I blame it on most of the time, because autocorrect gets me all the time. It's a daily thing. But yeah, I love y'all for real from the bottom of my heart. I definitely got to get out of here. Make sure that stream is ready to go. Rest my voice for 20 minutes. I'm probably going to go pick up coffee and make sure that this stream is ready to go. So thank you all for being here. If you're somehow at the end of this on the replay, I appreciate the hell out of you. I know I do some of these streams lately late at night or impromptu or whatever the case is. I'm going to try to do as much streaming and content as I can going forward. I really love to stream because it's so cool to be able to interact with you guys and this community in general, which is why I do so much streaming and not enough editing. I don't know when the last time I did an edited video was. It's sad. It's sad. The amount of broken external drives with files on files of videos I was like trying to edit or at least recorded. It's kind of sad. But yeah, I'll try to go rest my voice for 20 minutes. I'm gonna go get my coffee, make sure the stream is ready. I appreciate every single one of you guys that came into this chat today, and especially those of you guys that are still here. And again, if you're watching on the replay, I definitely appreciate the hell out of you. I hope you guys had a fantastic Valentine's Day. I hope you're excited as hell as I am for season 3 of The Mandalorian and the second half of The Bad Batch, which, heck, some of this is going to intertwine. At least, like, the episodes are going to be releasing at the same time. 2 weeks from now, we're going to be getting episode, 10 of The Bad Batch and episode 1 of The Mandalorian in the same night. That's crazy, man. This is literally a golden era for Star Wars and a golden age, so I can't wait. Carlos Magus, good to see you in the chat, man. I'm about to get out of here. I'm so sorry. Thank you for hanging out with us, though, everybody. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Rail, no! I appreciate the hell out of you, man. Thank you for the $6.99 once again. He says one more for a morning coffee. That means the world to me, man. It really does. Thank you, Rail. Because I'm going to get my morning coffee. I'm going to feel good about it now. I'm going to think of you when I go get it. Thank you guys for hanging out with me in the chat, though. I got to get out of here. I got to go get this stream ready. I appreciate the hell out of y'all. I love y'all. I'll see you soon. Thank you again, Rail. Thank you, everybody, for hanging with us. And I'll see you in the watch party here in about 30 minutes. Much love, y'all. Get some rest after the watch party tonight. But I'll see you there. I'll see you there. Peace. Let's go!